we're probably going to get very strong picks from both teams. These are, again, two teams that have kind of opposite map pools. Sprout do really like Agility Dash. They're probably going to pick Reps as well. Slippy Slides isn't too bad for them. But Parkour as well, they're probably going to pick. As for HOMYNOTSUN, we're probably going to see another Freestyle. We're probably going to see Slowdown. So yeah, we're going to see it go back and forth once again, I feel like, and not like, just don't even make reference to the because I didn't mean it.
Yeah. I honestly, listen, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have noticed. But chat definitely did. And, well, there we go. I'm a little bit surprised not to see Reps selected by either team, as the second pick for Sprout is Parkour. Well, I mean, maybe not in a crazy pick, given that we do currently have Dexter sitting with a Challenger League record on that one after the upper bracket final for that. But it will be back and forth if we go all the way to that one as well. And NuaLaoch, they redeemed themselves a little bit on us in that last match. So maybe not the end of the world if we do end up on map 5 in this match.
Yeah, unsurprising, I think, that Sprout banned out Freestyle as well. I'm not too surprised by that one. Obviously, we just saw Feed. I don't even know. But,
popping off.
Yeah, like Inhuman. But yeah, this is going to be a real interesting one. Again, it's one of those ones, just like the last series we saw, just like the last match we saw, that is going to be really down to how well you can do on your opponent's map picks, because I'm relatively certain both teams are going to feel quite safe on their own. It's whether you can bring out something unprecedented on the opposition's map picks that is really going to be well, quite literally the tiebreaker here.
And we did have Scrappy in Twitch chat earlier threatening to go full send in this week's matches. So, I mean, world record or bust, maybe the approach in this match, because I do expect to see the pace at the top end looking very good indeed. Even at the end of that last match, we did see Feed safing some rounds. We saw Feed, well, that's a bit of a false start, as we have lost Scrappy
out of the
from the match, as we're straight into a pause for this one as well. But in the last match, we did see Feed on very good paces and choosing to safe identities when they were in good positions. That does not feel like a winning strategy in this match.
No, that's a pretty difficult thing to do on Agility Dash. You are unfortunately kind of forced to go full send on this one. And yeah, I mean, we've seen both teams have really good times on this map, and both teams have horrible crashes over and over again on this map. And I think that is kind of a trait that both of these teams share, is that they can both put up amazing times. They have great potential, and a lot of the time they do put up those times. But both of them on the other side of the coin are mistake prone, I think, is a good way of putting it. They are some of the more inconsistent players in the league. I don't mean that in a critical way. I mean that literally in just a statistical way. They are generally more mistake prone, especially on identities, than most other players in the league, and that is their downfall a lot of the time. It's why this series is going to be so interesting. It's because it's going to come down to consistency a lot of the time.
I mean, unfortunately for Sprout and NuaLaoch, reality has a Sprout and NuaLaoch anti-bias, they do just make those mistakes some of the times. But with that said, we have seen some absolutely insane times and some insane weeks with very strong consistency from both of these teams as well. So we know they have it in them. In general, they do make those mistakes. And in general, it comes when they're up against an opponent that is forcing them to push. And that is this match, right? Exactly. If there is a match where you're talking about an opponent that is going to force you to push, to try and set great times, to risk on near every single round, that's probably this match. We're probably going to be seeing quite a few mistakes to decide rounds, but that's not a function of, oh, the players don't know the maps, or, oh, the players are not playing very well. It's that the players are being forced past the limits of comfort of what they can do on these maps by how well their opponents are playing. That's the theory anyway. I guess we'll see if it stands to the test, if reality mirrors it, as we do get into our first round here.
Yeah, this is going to be, I mean, buckle in. Once the first time we saw this series, we had, we didn't really know what we were going to see. This time around, I think we know that it's going to be an amazing series, so get ready, because I think we're going to see some absolutely amazing scenes here. Dexter and Scrappy, they have had their ups, they have had their downs. Dexter has set world records all over the place, but they're coming up against Enna and Feed, who are pretty much their, I don't even know how to put it. It's like they're their mirror clones, Feed, he's very much like Dexter. He really goes for things and he gets world records. But again, oh my lord, Enna goes wide with that slide. It's really going to be so important that these players don't just set good times, they stay consistent, they don't make mistakes.
And this first round now looking to set the tone for the rest of the match. Who comes out on top in agility dash on a first round? Scrappy and Dexter look good through the first half of the map, but Feed has managed to regain, has managed to put himself in contention for that first place. As Scrappy will wobble a little bit over those jumps, comes out with a slight lead. Enner has crashed out at the back, and it will be Feed leading the way into the identity at the moment. Dexter gets a great first landing this time around and will pull ahead a little bit. Scrappy is still within reach, but has fallen behind when we're looking at Feed to make a mistake for an ace for Sprout, but I don't think it's going to happen. And that will be a round win for Sprout, but Feed, he caught back up by the end.
Yeah, there you go. Dexter and Feed right up at the top. Just insane speed from both of those guys. And we get immediately a sub 129, which is a great time. Obviously, you know, Mudder has put together an unbelievable time, and so has Dexter on this map as well, but that is a great way to start things off. Sprout, they get 1 point ahead here, but you can see already the way this is shaping up. The battle for third place seems to, usually when these guys match up, come down to Enner and Scrappy. They are consistently more, well, slower. They said slower times off Feed, yeah. I mean, he went into that hoping he would have enough speed to get over that, and he didn't. And that once again puts a very big hamper on HOMYNOTSUN's chances of being able to catch up.
No, and I totally agree with you. I think the matchup for third place is so important in a lot of Challenger League matches in this format, but especially in this one as well. If you're talking about a battle up front for first places going between Dexter and Feed, it's going to happen, but keeping yourself out of fourth not only denies aces, but or potentially denies aces, but you know, really does mean that your team has the best chance at actually picking up wins in individual rounds. Prevents draws at the very least. This time around, excuse me. HOMYNOTSUN, they'd love to settle for a draw, because that does not look like we're heading at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it whatsoever. Well, Dexter and Scrappy, they are first and second as they move towards the identity, and generally they have better speed on the identity. Dexter likes to really risk this one. He likes to not lose any speed as he goes forward, but Scrappy is going to be trying to keep Enner at bay this time around. He has a little bit more in the tank. He gets it done. It's an ace for Sprout, and they catapult themselves forward to a 5-1.
And, you know, we were kind of talking about how that battle for third place would play out during that round between Scrappy and Enner as Feed goes for a fly. And the problem with that is that it does rely on both Dexter and Feed doing their job for the team and being up contesting first places as well, because Scrappy and Enner, there's a 10th between them on that round. And if Feed is up there ahead of Scrappy, that's maybe a win still for Sprout. Maybe it turns into a draw as well. That's what we need to see out of Feed for these upcoming rounds. We need to see HOMYNOTSUN in general stepping up a little bit. Sprout, though, they walk away with a 5-1 scoreline, and with it a fairly dominant advantage on this map and a likely map win to kick things off.
Yeah, and harkening back to the point I made earlier, Sprout, now that they, you know, we've seen several weeks where they have had horrible identities on this map specifically, but they haven't made a mistake so far on it, and that is really the difference maker right here. You can see how much quicker they are. It's just that a lot of the time, it's kind of been, you know, set in the background, you know, how quick they've been by the amount of mistakes they've made. They're looking clean, you know? I meant on the identity. I meant on the identity.
Yeah, qualify it after the fact. That'll work, Twiggy. That'll get you out from underneath the accusations of Caster cursing Dexter.
Oh, well, either way. Well, Scrappy is going to have to step up to the plate now. And again, I won't say it, but you get the point I was trying to make earlier. I'll make that point again right here, but not say the words so as not to curse Scrappy as he moves forward. He is in first place, and so far he's looking pretty decent on this one. Feed and Enner, they've been making mistakes on the identity. Now it's their turn to try and catch up.
Yep, they could yet do it. Scrappy is not the faster of the two players from Sprout on this identity, and Feed is knocking on the door at the moment, just behind him. Dexter has also somehow caught up and is in the conversation for a chance in this round, but Feed is overtaking Scrappy, and Enner is gaining as well. Dexter is still looming behind. Scrappy gaining back, but will not catch Feed before the end. And it will be a round win for HOMYNOTSUN, but Sprout moved to 6.
Really clean from HOMYNOTSUN. They're pouncing on the small mistake from Dexter, even though he caught back up quite nicely. I mean, that's really, really good from them. And again, that identity is just looking really good now, you know? It was, I remember week 2, week 3, where it would be rare that we see 3 players get through the identity. You know, it would be rare that we, like, even seeing 2 players getting through the identity cleanly would be a pretty great round. This is now, you know, players are at their peak at this point. I think it's no secret that they have absolutely grinded out practice. Well, I mean, most...
Yeah. I mean, you don't have anyone in mind when you say that, right?
Yeah, no. But look, it shows. It really shows in the way that they're playing, not only in terms of their times, but also in terms of the fact that they seem so much more consistent there, especially on the trickier parts of the map.
It will be a bit of a mistake from Feed on one of those parts of the map, but he's not too far out of reach. And a mistake on the identity, as always, could get him back into it. Enner is looking to catch up with Scrappy at the moment, and in that duel, one we mentioned is important, Scrappy has had the edge so far as well. Dexter this time leading the round, and this could well be another ace for Sprout. This could be a 9 points and a near unlosable position for the team in blue.
It's looking really good for them once again, and we know how quick Dexter goes on that identity. Enner has caught up to Scrappy, and it looks like generally he will overtake on this one, but it still would be a round win from Sprout. Enner's doing his best to catch up now, and he does close the gap between himself and Dexter, but Dexter is just too fast. He gets it done. Scrappy.
Feed's there. Scrappy made the mistake not to respawn at the start of the identity, and that means that it's a draw. But it's, you know, a classic Sprout favored draw. They sit on 7 points. An ace would win it for them. They have a 3-point buffer, and there ain't no way that HOMYNOTSUN find an ace and just immediately tie it back up.
Yeah, surely not. It's not like we've seen literally every kind of comeback in the past in the past set that we saw. You know, HOMYNOTSUN definitely don't have the potential to do that. Oh god, no. Sprout though, you know, still looking better. Obviously there are some mistakes showing now, but I think their times have just been so good so far, and Dexter has been consistent apart from that one round he bonked a wall slightly earlier on in the round. You just, like, the thing is, you can't count him out until right at the end, is that he has so much speed through that identity. If he's not in first place, he will go for it. He will throw all caution to the wind, and he will just go for that identity and have so much more speed. Sometimes that does result in a mistake, but sometimes it results in overtakes. And when he's in first place, that's even more difficult.
Yeah, very, very difficult to manage to get anything done against Sprout when Dexter is in the form that he already does look to be in today. He is driving very, very quickly. At the back, Scrappy has managed to get an overtake onto Enner, will lead and will catch back up with Feed as well. Potentially, Sprout, they could lock this one up here. Enner with another wheel clip at the back now drops further away from the top 3, but Feed, meanwhile, has managed to take the top position. Dexter will gain back. It'll be Dexter on the charge through the identity. Feed has a straighter line. Scrappy has full crashed out behind them, and that means Feed and Dexter is the 1-2 battle. Dexter with the advantage has managed to catch back up. Enner is just about holding on. He's slow towards the finish line and will finish in 3rd place for another draw.
Man, there again, real nice time from Dexter on that one, a 128.7. Feed almost get in there. I mean, within one point did catch up to within 1/10 on the identity there. Fell back a little further, but man, it's really coming down to it that we're pushing better and better times out of these players as we go on, and as they get the feel for each other. You know, obviously they've played against each other before, but so much has changed since then. I think, you know, the players have become so much more consistent on some maps, so much more consistent on parts of certain maps, and really you do kind of have to relearn how good your opponents are.
Yeah, especially for Sprout, who are, you know, HOMYNOTSUN have had to come up through the lower bracket to get to this point. Yeah. Sprout, they lost to alternate attacks in a very tough match, a close match, but yeah, going like, wow, alternate attacks are really fast. That almost definitely wasn't a surprise to Sprout. Coming up against the best the lower bracket has to offer, teams that, yeah, they had a very close match with in the regular season, but seeing how the improvements have looked for them as well, could be a little bit of a rude awakening for them here in this final.
Yep, and it pulls out into first place. Dexter slightly catching up. Scrappy and Dexter both very close by. Oh, where did Scrappy go? I thought he just took a wide line. He just went off my screen there. But Feed is down by about a second on this one. He can catch up that difference. Feed, we know how quickly he can drive, but there's still that 3-point gap, and it's got to be weighing on HOMYNOTSUN at this point, because if Sprout managed to get a player in first, suddenly things are looking very, very scary. So Enner doing all he can to stay in first place here, but Dexter does have more speed. He's closing that gap. He overtakes. He just needs to get it through to the finish line, but he's a little further behind. Enner stays out ahead. Dexter is down by 27 thousandths, and Enner gives HOMYNOTSUN one more chance here.
What a clutch from Enner, holding off Dexter to set a really, really fast time as well. And 128.8. But as you say, it is one last chance for HOMYNOTSUN. They need to ace in this round. As just we're holding on. This is fine. I'm sure there's the lobby. It comes back, and we do need an ace. I think we're going to get a pause here, as there are two players not moving on the start line at the moment. And well, this could be the easiest ace of HOMYNOTSUN's life, but I think it's more likely to be a pause.
Gotta leave that suspense hanging. You know, we've got to really get the blood pumping on this one. Sprout,
oh yeah,
1 point away once again. It's you know, we've seen this scoreline a few times now. HOMYNOTSUN, well, I mean, they need an ace. Quite literally, they do need that ace, and it's gonna look difficult for them. I mean, either Dexter or Scrappy has been really, really good so far. You know, like both of them have made mistakes, but Dexter, as always, has been insanely fast. He didn't get first in that round, but he really pushed everything out of Feed there. Feed had to do absolutely everything he could to stay out ahead. We haven't really seen him take a line like that on the Identity so far. It was forced out of him by Dexter, and that is what these two teams drive each other to.
It was Enner who won that round.
Oh, Enner, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, but I know, exactly, you're right. It is HOMYNOTSUN being forced to limits that maybe they didn't even know they had on those identities. And Sprout are making the play like, and we are seeing as well from Scrappy, he promised a full risk match, right? And I think that to a degree can be said to be what we're seeing from him as well. He's going quick or he's crashing. That is what full risk means when it comes to this, and it is kind of forcing HOMYNOTSUN to risk a little bit more than maybe they're comfortable with too.
Yeah, I think, you know, there was an element of that last series as well when HOMYNOTSUN were up against TriName Racing. They were forced to kind of push their own boundaries, but not too much. A lot of the maps were not, you know, maps where their opposition was insanely good and they had to really go for every millisecond that they could. It was you know, they had a few maps where both teams were not insanely confident, so they could kind of, well, they weren't forced into making insane lines and trying to get stuff done. This time around, very different story. Every single round are being forced into just going all out. And that is forcing out more mistakes, but at the same time, it's forcing out some brilliant times from them.
We have already seen that this has been faster than either team looked in our previous match here on Agility Dash. This could be a very fast round as well. Scrappy leads from Enner, from Dexter. Feed has been pretty quiet so far in this match. This would be a great round to make his mark on, as they will need the ace to get back into it. And that means at this point either Feed clutches up or we get a mistake out of Scrappy, because Dexter has already made his. And if there is a player that you wanted to make a mistake pre-identity as HOMYNOTSUN, it was Dexter. Scrappy skimply there. Enner, he's in space, and Scrappy just needs to get it cleanly to the line. He will make it all the way through. It's a great time, a 128.6 at the end, and Sprout take map 1.
What a time to finish it off. And hey, I mean, look, his people called him. You know, he that was yeah, fair enough.
It's a great win from Sprout. They set some really good times.
Why does every time something pretty amazing happens, something absolutely hilarious happens at the same time? I
mean, to be fair, last time around, the really amazing thing was the really hilarious thing. Like, Feed's time on slowdown was just absurdly funny because it was so quick. Yeah,
I mean, and I just joined the. He's in NASA training at the moment. You know, he's going through all that. So. Well, as we move to Slippy Slides, again, you know, this is a map where you can't count out either team. That's the thing here. The problem is, even though one team is generally stronger on each of these maps, both teams have the potential to do incredibly well. HOMYNOTSUN are statistically better at this map, but we have seen some insane identities from both Scrappy and Dexter here.
Yeah, I mean, 82% win record before the previous match for HOMYNOTSUN on this map. And, well, they've improved on that since then. They are very, very good on this one. But as you say, Sprout, you have to kind of be worried if it goes well. That's the thing about full risk, is when it goes well, you get the full reward. And if Scrappy is risking on this map, he puts up times like he just did on Agility Dash at the end with a very impressive 111.6. And if he can do that with at least relative consistency, and Dexter is still up at the top a lot, Sprout are hard to beat in general. The issue is that when you full risk, sometimes you don't get the reward, you get the crash instead.
At least relative consistency, he says. Well,
it's only one round. You know what? It was going to be 100% or 0%.
Risk versus
there was
reward.
No way for it to be relatively consistent after one round. Okay.
Yeah, no. You know, it is what it is. No worries. Dexter, he's very confident on. Well, I would say he's very confident on this. As you can see, Sprout loves to go for that inside line and try and save as much time as possible by entering every one of these bug slides as close to the wall. And that is beautiful from Dexter. That is textbook. What a brilliant time. Are you kidding?
That's a 1:11.068. That is,
scary.
3/100ths of a second exactly off the current Challenger League record. And that is the first round. And it is, as so often for the Sprout team, unfortunately, only good enough for a draw. As Scrappy was full risking. And if he doesn't crash that round, right, like it is probably going to be a win for Sprout. It's an ace for Sprout. And that kind of is their strategy. Scrappy goes full risk. Dexter just does incredible times up the front anyway. And sometimes they ace, sometimes they draw, and they end up winning the map as a result half the time.
I mean, look, some games have the strat, you know, player go kill. This team has the strat Dexter go win, Dexter go world record, you know? Like, this is like just suddenly, you know, Scrappy goes out and Dexter just looks like, I got it, don't worry, I got you back. It's so beautiful to see sometimes. It's absolutely amazing. This time around, it is HOMYNOTSUN in first and second, but you can all just sense that Sprout are smelling blood in the mortar. It's absolutely insane. Now, if Dexter can keep this up, Scrappy has also made a bit of a mistake. He falls back a little further, but Dexter, here he goes again on that inside line. He overtakes on the first turn. Can he overtake on the second turn as well? It's a little bit less great, but I think it's going to be it. I think he's got it and just slide out. He's forced out a slide from Speed, and it's an ace from Sprout. Oh, my Lord.
That's not as quick a round at all, but Sprout, they dropped behind. The back half of the map for them was strong enough that it really did start to put the pressure onto HOMYNOTSUN. Enter with the first mistake early on the map. Feed with the mistake on the final turn, sliding out. And it will be Sprout to pick up an ace. They move at 4-1. It's not as dominant as a 5-1, but it's still a pretty strong way to kick things off.
Yeah, that definitely is. I mean, look, and there's the thing, right? When you are coming up against somebody like Dexter on that identity, who has just done that to you, he's just almost got the new Challenger League record. You know you have to go real fast on that identity, and Feed knows that he is being tailed by the fastest player on that identity, and he tries his best to get it done. But a mistake is forced out, you know? He can't quite get enough speed, and in trying to do so, slides off and gives away an ace, which is just even more unfortunate. But that's the kind of desperation that this can force out of you.
This was, of course, the pick for HOMYNOTSUN in this match as well. Maybe a little bit surprising, you know, now that we have had a few moments to sit and think about it as well, because there will be a crash from one of the players in it. It will be Enner crashing out, and it was HOMYNOTSUN opting into this map, and it's a map that Sprout are very, very good at, and they're proving that here.
Yeah, Scrappy a little further down into the identity, but you can see he still takes that line, and he is catching up time on the Feed, even if he is far enough away that he is not going to get that time done. Oh my God, good times from both Dexter and Feed there. But like, if Feed had put together what is that, a 111.4, we'd have been like, nice time. Real good.
Yeah.
Real good. But Dexter is there with a 111.18, so, you know, unlucky, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, Scrappy also managed to readjust mid-bug slide to dodge the wall on the inside as well, right as he was about to clip it, which is also very impressive. And it would have possibly cost them the third place, might have cost them the round win, and we could have ended up with a draw, because it is a very slow respawn if you have to respawn from that final turn. So look, all of these drivers are really good, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make here. And the fact that Enner had to Enner crashed out in that last round is genuinely more of a function of, as you were saying earlier, Twiggy, being forced to drive outside your comfort zone a little bit by how quick Sprout are going in every round. And unfortunately for Enner, his teammate can match those times as well, which means that there's a lot of pressure on Enner to really push very, very, very hard indeed to try and catch back up to.
Well, HOMYNOTSUN have a chance here in this round. Dexter has dropped down by about 6/10 on this one. We know he can make up a little bit of that time, but 6/10 is a tall order. Oh man, he gets up into third place, however. A little bit of an awkward turn from Enner gives away that position. Scrappy moves up into first, not anymore. He has to release going into this one, but you can see how he sets that up. He released about twice going into that identity just to set up the best angle, although It doesn't look like it's going to pay off in the end. Oh, it does! Feed, he tries to get an amazing line on that one, but he clips his wheel, and it's another ace for Sprout. Are you... what?
Anytime that Sprout managed to set times within a tenth of the Challenger League record, it's a draw, maybe a round win if they're lucky, and then, you know, we're half a second off, 1 second off, and they pick up the ace, and they move to 9-2 on HOMYNOTSUN's map pick. And I'm going to keep stressing that because, you know, there were other options available to them, but they chose to go to Slippy Slides, and Sprouter, they're making them regret it right now.
Yeah, I think maybe there is also an element of just underestimating how much that last set took out of you, you know? HOMYNOTSUN, they had an incredibly long series, an incredibly long two sets and a map on that last one. And, you know, obviously they did incredibly well. They absolutely, you know, deserved that win. But, you know, now you're coming up against Sprout, completely different beast, and you're having to put even better times up. And just after playing all of that, you're coming into this one, and I think Sprout are just putting down a reality check here, in that they're going, you know what, just don't, it's not happening, you know? Feed, he tried so hard to stay out ahead there, and there was a mistake because of it, you know? He doesn't usually go for a very inside line on the identity, but he knows that he has to against Dexter and Scrappy.
Yeah, and well, he has slid out on the last 2 rounds. We'll see if it happens again, because at the moment, there is a chance that HOMYNOTSUN could ace this round, but they need to ace this round. Scrappy is trying to snipe away the win on this one.
He gets one!
And it's one! He's won is all he needs. Sprout take the map, and it's off the back of Scrappy flying through that identity.
And Scrappy always pulls out the heroics, just to close things out, you know?
Right when we start, he
is the best closer. I mean,
that's
it's
true.
Like, we're so focused on Dexter, and then Scrappy just goes, "Hey, hi, I'm here."
Yep. But anytime we start talking about the consistency maybe not quite being there for Scrappy, or how good Dexter is now, Scrappy, and
so
then
every
the clip
time
gets made.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always in the clip me going, oh, you know, Scrappy, he's been inconsistent, and then he gets, you know, a clip, obviously.
He goes for a flip onto Parkour and, you know, absolutely makes YouTube comments think we're fools.
I mean, look, again, we're going on to Parkour here again, and I'm going to restate it, you know, I'm not backing down from this. Oop. Scrappy and Dexter are statistically the most inconsistent team on this identity. Just because he got a flip that one time, that it doesn't mean I'm wrong. But anyway, you know.
No, I'm pretty sure it does, Twiggy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I am the dumbest person. No, but that's the thing, right? Inconsistency means it doesn't mean that you're not good, right? Inconsistency just means that you're putting together bad times and really good times, and that's the thing with Sprout. Is that they get both ends of the coin.
I mean, they came into these playoffs holding 5 of the 10 records for Challenger League maps, and several of those were world records as well. So they can absolutely put together incredible times, but I think a lot of it gets summed up by what we saw from Scrappy when he set that world record on reps, which was world record and 3 4th places on either side of it. So that's how this team plays. They both kind of play like it. Dexter definitely puts together more clean rounds, I think, than Scrappy does, but Scrappy has that pace in the back pocket, and he's going to need to use it in this round as well. Look at how much he risks on the outside. Enner tried to match that outside dirt, and he touches. He falls further behind. Scrappy has the lead, and it is all to himself as he looks clean through these jumps. He looks very clean indeed. Feed will cruise home behind him. The question is, how close is Dexter? He's close enough to pick up a 3rd place. And that means Sprout pick up the 1st round. Yeah,
really nice first round as well. Good time. Really good time from Scrappy. A 102.2 is brilliant. That does contend somewhat close to the world record, about 3 tenths away, and that is a really nice start for them. Scrappy is looking a lot more comfortable there at the very least. You know, generally when he goes into the identity, he looks shaky, you know, like he'll be on a really good run, and then sometimes it will all go wrong. That look, you know, comfortable is the thing.
Yeah, looked very, very good indeed. It was a solid time up at the top as well. We'll see if we can get a 2nd one in a row from Scrappy. And if he gets a 2nd one in a row, then I would not bet against the ace for Sprout in this round. Well, now I might, as Dexter will fly out of the end of that ice turn.
I mean, Dexter was about 1.5 seconds down in the last round as well, so I wouldn't count him out just yet It's parkour. Anything can happen at the end of this map. Scrappy still in first place and by quite a long way. There's a wheel clip from Enna. He falls down into fourth place. He has absolutely no speed whatsoever, so he's going to be a long way away. Dexter up into third. Feed now carrying the hopes of HOMYNOTSUN on his shoulders. Can he get these jumps done just fine? It looks all good so far. No pole, all fine. He stays in second place. Dexter is on his tail, but not close enough to get it done. It's another 2-1 there for Sprout, moving us to 4-2 in the map.
Yep, pretty much identical fashion to last time as well. Pole, no, will not find the cone. Enner jumps long over it. I got excited for a second there. It will, cone? Any cones? Cone? No, it was not. It was not a cone. It was a 2-point round for Sprout, and it was Scrappy in first. It was Dexter in third after a mistake in the middle of the map again. And that's, look, you got to be nervous if you're HOMYNOTSUN, because if it's Dexter that you're relying on to make mistakes in the middle of the map on this Sprout team, the map is unlikely to go very well from you from that point on.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't look nervous? And full credit here, Scrappy, comfortable 2 rounds in a row. That is not particularly normal for him on parkour. You know, every time we've seen him on parkour, we've been like, Scrappy on parkour, you know, we're expecting a mistake. This time around, he just doesn't look like he's giving one away. So this completely different side to him here. I hope I don't curse him with that. No, that was Dexter.
No,
that was Dexter.
You can't be blamed for that one. You hadn't even mentioned his name yet.
I did not at all. Well, Scrappy, he's looking like he may have more speed going into the identity. He may just overtake into first place. That's a really good jump. He has more speed. He overtakes. What is this? This is a completely new side to Scrappy on parkour. Here he is. It's his new favorite map. He cruises home to first place. What?
It's another great time as well. 102.4 is quick. It's only a draw, but it's Scrappy in first, and it is Scrappy just keeping it clean the entire way through. It's only enough for a 2-point lead at the moment. HOMYNOTSUN, if they pull out an ace, they swing things around in their favor immediately. But at the moment, Scrappy does not look to be letting them do so. Dexter has made another early mistake.
Yeah, Dexter... I don't know what it is about Sprout.
I say mistake. He's DC'd.
Yeah, he is floating in midair.
That's going to make things a little bit tough.
Yeah, that may do it. We will probably get a reset on this round, but
you'd imagine, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Either way, we'll carry on talking about the heroics that we've seen. It seems like for Sprout, whenever one player steps up, the other one goes, I can take a break. You know, it does seem that way a lot of the time. Usually it is, you know, Dexter the one coming in first place, but this time around, it's completely the opposite. I mean, Scrappy, hey, look, maybe will this round?
Given that the round has already started, I think we have seen at least once in the Challenge League already that it did have to be played out before we could get to pause, which means there's a lot of pressure on Scrappy to get this one maybe over Feed, turn it into a draw, because he does not have a teammate at the moment. Maybe Enner won't get across the line, who knows, because up at the front, Feed has beaten out Scrappy. Enner has crashed. I mean, maybe this turns into a draw anyway. It would not be a draw, I believe, because Feed has there. Nope. Round is skipped. No points will be awarded.
Hey, we just got to see, you know, like we just needed to see Scrappy do another very clean round there, you know? That we just needed more proof, you know? It may not have been first place, but still. It's all good, guys. It's all good.
Yeah, it happens, you know, and that will be another pause, the third of the match so far. But hey, you know, I mean, it just draws it out a little bit longer, keeps the suspense high. Internet happens, you know, and for once it's not Irish internet that's causing problems, which is I gotta feel good about.
We were a bit scared about Discord earlier on. We were a little bit scared, but I think that was just Discord. That wasn't you. It's all good.
Yeah, well, as long as it's not my fault, then you know what, I don't mind. We'll see. Hopefully we can get all players back in nice and quick during this round, and we can get going again. Score stands at 5-3 for Sprout here on Parkour. And of course, they are 2-0 up, having taken their opponent's pick away. Something we talked about in the first match, Twiggy. Very important in a best of 5 that you can challenge and maybe beat your opponents on their map picks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sprout have really come out in full force today. It is a completely different side to them. You know, like a lot of the time we're going, man, these guys are so quick, but they make so many mistakes. This time around, it's more like they're looking more like a team, you know, I would say like a team like Alternate Attacks, where they are making barely any mistakes and they're still really quick. Like this is, I mean, it looks like they've just patched up all the holes they had, you know?
Yeah.
So far. Obviously, it's hard to tell just from 3 maps, but...
But, I mean, it's good. Like you say, I mean, it's hard to tell from just 3 maps, but if you can't tell from, like, 3 maps is all you need as well, right? Like, you can tell a little bit from 3 maps as to how things are going for them. And also 3 maps will win them the first match here, and that's what they're on track to do at the moment. Exactly. It does look like we have Dexter back in lobby at the moment, so we're just getting confirmation from everyone that they are ready, able to go. I believe that what has happened, because Dexter DC'd within 5 seconds of the start, the round can be remade. If you DC 5 seconds after the round starts, then the round does need to be played out and points will count for that one. That is just a little bit of reference for everyone on that one. That is what the rulebook says for that. And that means no points awarded for the previous round. It does mean that Scrappy will continue to have to put together good rounds if he wants to turn them into points.
Yeah, and look, right, okay. This is completely besides the point, I feel like, but we talk about momentum a little bit every now and then, and there is in some sports there's a tactic, right? There you can call a timeout to, obviously this is not a timeout, it's not the same thing. Yeah, exactly. You can call a timeout to stop a player from doing really well. In fact, okay, I'm going to use, I mentioned volleyball every now and then. Volleyball is very well renowned for having a team will, if somebody gets a lot of aces in a row, and there haven't been aces in this, but you get my point. If somebody gets a lot of serve aces in a row, the other team will go, timeout. Just stop them. Just stop them from doing that. And then a lot of the time, when they come back, they miss their next serve, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there is a chance this is the same way.
Yeah. I mean, also, I think when you're talking about a pause like this, unfortunately, when there's a player DC, they're most likely to be the player under the most stress. That is potentially we're going to see if Dexter can pick it back up where he left off on this. He has been looking a little bit shaky on parkour so far, has been a little bit rough for him. But I definitely still think there's a chance he can clean it up if there is a player that we would trust to do it. We are trying to figure out just nice and quickly exactly what happened in that first round. Admins and referees are just working out exactly what the outcome of that previous break should be. And then we should be underway any second now. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we can find a way to work volleyball back into the conversation between now and then.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Everybody has voiced their their unhappiness with the bringing up of volleyball in this one.
I enjoyed it.
It's just the sport I play. It's not because of a specific reason I brought it up.
I can bring up sailing if anyone wants me to. I mean, that's if you want to talk about significantly less relevant. Although I guess
tell me something about
race
sailing.
Does take about an hour, and a match in this does take about an hour, and both of them require long periods of focus. So I'm sure we can find a way to get into it later. But I'm going to hope that we get back into match before we have to actually get into that. And it does look like players are readying up. It does look like the admins have this one ready to go. Thank you very much for sorting that out. And we will jump back into match in any second now, where Sprout's still sitting at 5-3, halfway to the 10 points that they need. HOMYNOTSUN, they'll have to reverse sweep Sprout. And I don't think we've somehow not managed to mention the fact that there is some symmetry here this time around, Twiggy.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways there is, definitely. I think... well, okay, so when we came into that best of 7 in the regular season of HOMYNOTSUN versus Sprout, we probably, I think I remember us thinking it was probably going to be like a 4-1
I thought it was impossible. I thought it was impossible that there would be a reverse sweep in this format as well. I
think the thing is, first off, we thought Sprout were probably going to do really well in the series straight away. Get like a 4-1, 4-2, something like that against HOMYNOTSUN, despite the fact that HOMYNOTSUN had done really well. Sprout were looking on fire at that point in time. And then they lost 3 maps. And we were like, that's new. Well. And then we're like, we've never seen a reverse sweep before. It's not happening. And then Sprout did it. And at that point, you just don't know what to think anymore. So, I mean, the fact that Sprout are just getting the maps out of the way now, I think shows a different side to them, right? Because they've always been one for drama, I think. And this is very undramatic. They're just getting it done, which is new for them.
They are just looking fairly clean so far, which, as you say, is impressive. Although... it would also be pretty dramatic if they did get reverse swept now. So maybe that is where we're going.
Yeah,
Dexter,
they just wanted to give HOMYNOTSUN an opportunity to do that.
I can still see the lobby, and Dexter nearly managed to balance his car exactly on its nose, and that was impressive. Chat can't see it, but trust me, it looked really cool. We'll just we're still waiting for the end of this pause, and as we say, it should end sooner rather than later. You would imagine all players are sitting in lobby at the moment. And we're just kind of vibing. I don't know. Maybe Twiggy will whip out his guitar and play some songs for chat if we have to sit too much longer.
My guitar actually doesn't have any strings on it right now. I'm fixing it at the moment. So no. Yep.
And there's no other guitar hanging on the wall beside it or anything?
No, of course not. Of course not.
No, definitely not just out of frame.
There's not a piano right there, a piano behind me in my cabinet, a bass guitar right next to it, and then an acoustic guitar on the other side of it. No, that's not. That's not a thing. You don't want to. You don't want to hear.
I want to hear,
hey,
but we don't have time,
match.
Twiggy. You've been saved by the unpause, and we will be sitting here. 5-3 score should be correct on this one, and we will play on through from here with Sprout at the advantage. HOMYNOTSUN looking to fight their way back into the match. Will the pause have favored anyone? Will hands have cooled off? Will anyone come out looking particularly strong? Scrappy, the surprise of the map so far.
Yeah, well, now HOMYNOTSUN, at least they've had a chance to refocus, get back into this one. There's been a couple of mistakes that have got through on this one so far. A couple of, you know, just touching the bobsleigh or not quite making one of the jumps. Maybe, hopefully, now they have cleaned that one up. Because Sprout, they're pouncing on mistakes here. Well, there we go. There's Scrappy with his first mistake. And maybe that unfortunate, you know, internet issue has put a damper on the way that they are playing at the moment. But Dexter has just moved straight into first place. 2 slowdowns. HOMYNOTSUN move into second and third. Dexter cruises through in first place. Scrappy is too far away to catch up. Oh no, but Feed has respawned. Oh, never mind. He's back in there.
He's hit.
It's fine. He made it over. Feed has not even made it onto the identity yet.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine in the end. Scrappy gets there. Dexter wins
the round. It all worked out.
Yeah, Sprout, look, they win. And it was, well, that's the warm-up round that you get back after a long pause, right? Sprout, they're allowed one of those. They look a little bit shaky. And HOMYNOTSUN, you would have hoped that they could capitalize on a map like that, on a round like that from Sprout, where there was mistakes from both players, really. But they can't. They just couldn't quite get it done. Both of them getting the slowdown on that first jump into the identity. And from there, just Feed crashing all the way out and giving up the round draw at the very least. HOMYNOTSUN, they need an ace at this point to come back into the map.
Yeah, really tough situation to be in now and come back into the series. You know, they are 3-0 down. Oh, sorry, 2-0 down at the point. They will be 3-0 down if they don't manage to get it done right here. Now, HOMYNOTSUN, all of that pressure is on them. They're in that first and second position, but we saw last time around what happened when they entered that identity. That's a pretty slow entry into the bobsleigh there from Enna. He moves down into fourth place. Feed staying in first, but more speed comes out from Scrappy as he gets through towards that identity. Dexter down in third place by only a couple attempts. Can he catch up here to Feed? Feed needs to stay here in second. He needs to stay mistakeless. He gets a big slowdown on the plastic there. Dexter overtakes in midair. It's an ace from Sprout, and they close out the series.
They close out match 1 of this lower final set. 10-4 on Parkour. They pick up their opponent's pick in Slippy Slides as well. And then they won Agility Dash to kick things off. Honestly, Sprout are looking absolutely fantastic tonight. HOMYNOTSUN, I mean, hey, it's been a long evening for them already up until this point. But I think their pick on Slippy Slides, something's going to have to change because that did not look like it for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't. And yeah, a big part of that is going to be the fatigue that they have going out from last couple sets. It's a difficult situation to be in. It was a long game. They're coming into this one, and I think, you know, there's this situation where obviously they are, you know, I think it definitely showed, is all I will, sorry, is the way I will put it there. Sprout obviously looked really good. There was more clean from them than I have ever seen. So it's really just 2 horrible things happening at once for HOMYNOTSUN. They're coming up against a reinvigorated Sprout right off the back of having to slog through a series against Schweiner Aim Racing.
Yeah, and there is credit that goes to Sprout, of course, as well. They are looking not only quick, they are starting to look maybe a little bit consistent. There were definitely some rounds where that was not true for the team. But overall, Sprout are looking threatening, and they will look to book their spot against alternate attacks in that upper grand final for the Challenger League. A chance at the €2,000 that first place gets, and all of the beautiful World Tour points that they will get. We are going to head to a quick break, and we will be back after that break for match 2 of this match. This match. Either way, we're going to break. Meowdy chat, and welcome back to the Trackmania Challenger League, where Sprout are one match away from booking the rematch with alternate attacks in that grand finals. And with a sweep, Twiggy, you'd have to say they are looking poised and ready to do it.
It does look that way. You know, it seemed like no matter what map HOMYNOTSUN chose to go on to there, Sprout just had the upper hand. I mean, not only, you know, was HOMYNOTSUN looking a little worse for wear after their long game last time, but also Sprout just looked reinvigorated completely, just so much more clean than they have been over the course of the whole season. We haven't seen any new world records from Dexter, but at the same time, you don't need that as long as you are winning those rounds, and that is exactly what we've seen. So yeah, I think no matter what happens here, unless HOMYNOTSUN really get a second win going, it's going to be very difficult to get back into the series.
Of course, we're going to maybe see some adaptations here in our second pick and ban. We saw in our first match of the night that HOMYNOTSUN definitely are a team, one of the few teams maybe in Challenger League who are willing to make those adaptations. I think they're going to have to make them. Slippy Slides, it just didn't quite look like the right decision for them as that first pick.
Yeah, I think so. I think they underestimated a little bit what was going to happen there. You know, I think, yes, on paper, they do better on the map, but I think we've always seen really good times. Obviously, we saw a world record at one point from Dexter. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it was a world record from Dexter there on Slippy Slides. You know, you just can't count out. I mean, you can't count out Sprout on any map, but especially one like that they've had historical, you know, success with, right?
Yep. Well, it's a gyroscope ban by HOMYNOTSUN to kick things off, and Flip of Fate then taken away. The perma ban that is there from Sprout, they will pick Agility Dash. First of all, why not? Worked out for them last time around. What is then the answer? Freestyle by their opponents. I like it. That makes sense to me from HOMYNOTSUN. Leaves the floor open to Sprout. They choose to go to Parkour. We're again seeing a bit of a lack of slowdown picks here tonight. You know, most teams now feeling that it is maybe too much of a coin flip as their opponents are all very good at it, as everyone's very good at it. Back and forth then the final pick by HOMYNOTSUN, and a couple of bans come through. We'll see. Slowdown is on the table, so is Aero Pipes, so is Slippy Slides. One more ban for Sprout. Which do they choose to take off the table? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Slowdown, personally speaking, and give us Aero Pipes or Slippy Slides.
Okay, so yeah, the question here is, do we risk going to Aero Pipes? They do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is how that worked. There we go. So it is going to Aero Pipes there for the potential tiebreaker, but man, can we even say with any certainty that we're even, like, thinking it might get there? I don't know.
Seems unlikely.
It seems very unlikely.
It seems, I think maybe the only way, like, thinking about how this match is going to play out, for me, maybe the only way that HOMYNOTSUN managed to come back in and beat Sprout at this point is by doing it quickly, right? Surprising them off the bat, managing to pick up a win on Agility Dash and then rolling two more through quickly before, while Sprout are still wondering what happened to them on Agility Dash. Because if it goes long, I struggle to see HOMYNOTSUN not only managing to hold on for that long, because they will have been playing for a very long time at that point, but also managing to pick up a win on Aero Pipes then as well over Sprout. So I'm looking at HOMYNOTSUN and I'm saying, honestly, from second one here on Agility Dash on round one, you are going to have to pick up the pace. You are going to have to show us something that you did not have the first time we visited this map.
Yeah, I think this was one of the maps where they had one of the best fights against Sprout, for sure. There were, you know, there were good times being put up by Enna and Feed, and although Sprout were looking a little more consistent towards the end, you know, we saw a lot of good overtakes. I think, you know, Scrappy had another kind of hard time on this map. It's one of the ones where Dexter is, hi, by the way, Dexter is the, you know, generally the more competent player coming into this one, which is the case over the course of the regular season, has been the case since week 2. I mean, Dexter, we can say it 50 times and it will still not lose its meaning. Dexter has been absolutely unbelievable, one of the best players in the league, consistently, or week on week, since that first week. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, whenever we go, oh, Scrappy, you know, he's always bringing up the rear, it's very difficult not to when you've got a team like Dexter. That's the problem.
Dexter, yeah, exactly. Like, trying to compete against Dexter, never mind the opponent, is always going to be tough. We do have a quick pause to kick things off here one more time, because that just seems to be how this match is going, and that just means more time to look at our faces. And honestly, sorry about that, chat.
Yeah, very sorry. I mean, to be fair, you can kind of admire the new fits. Nua said to me, hey, we need to look fancy for once. And I was like, I don't really do that. I show up in an oversized t-shirt, and that's about it. You know, I let my hair do what it does.
I'm still wearing sweatpants under the table, so you know what?
Oh, I'm actually no. I'm wearing chinos, like I straight up.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm fully dressed up. So
you were debating whether or not to actually tell the truth
put a
and tell
side
chat that you weren't wearing anything.
Okay, I see. I even put a side parting in my hair. That I haven't done that for years.
We're underway, Twiggy.
The video game.
Stop talking about hair. The video game is happening, and well, Enter is happening to Sprout at the moment. But I'm worried that Sprout may happen to Enter over the rest of this track.
Sprout may happen to Enter, indeed. Well, Enter is out ahead for the time being, but I mean, both of these teams looked very quick in the middle of the map here, and you know, I'm worried. I was literally just gonna say, you know what, Enter has hit the side of this next part of the track several times, and well, there it is once again, and Scrappy and Dexter move well into first and second place. Oh dear.
Yeah, unfortunately for HOMYNOTSUN, Sprout did not have time to happen to Enter because agility dash happened to Enter, more specifically a wall happened. Dexter, he's had a checkpoint happen to him now, but it's not the biggest mistake, so he will still be in good contention. Scrappy holds first place, and with HOMYNOTSUN 2.5 seconds at the least adrift of the front of the map at the moment, it's looking like we're on track for Sprout to 8th to kick things off here.
Yeah, it's looking real good for them. They're looking... Oh! Okay, well, Dexter doesn't make the jump. I think he clips the edge of the wall there, interestingly. Scrappy goes out ahead. Now Dexter has to fight. Oh, no, he's not having a good time at all. Feed is in second place, and he cruises through for that one. Enter is in third. Dexter's trying to catch up, but he's 2 checkpoints back at this point. Enter gets through to the end. It was looking so great. What happened?
It was looking fantastic. He's crashed again. Honestly,
doing his best Lando Norris impression right now.
I mean, hey, spoilers.
Spoilers, sorry,
catch up with the F1 qualifier. You gotta preempt these things, Twiggy. It's a draw. Dexter DNFing, and you don't see that many mistakes from Dexter on an identity.
No, that was really odd. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, the first one, I'm pretty sure I saw his wheel clip the little barrier at the edge there, and he just went a little too low. But every other time after that, it was just like, no, wait, oh, no, he just couldn't correct his mistake there. That was very unfortunate. Well, he's going to have several more chances to do it. Luckily, it's a draw, since Scrappy was also up there with him in the top 2. But yeah, that's an interesting change of pace.
Yeah, well, and the pace so far looking good for all 4 players. No mistakes just yet. Everyone keeps it out of the wall. Scrappy had problems with that wall last week. HOMYNOTSUN had problems with it with the first round. In this map this time around, Feed Vet's very close to the inside there and will exit with a decent amount of speed, but he does still sit in 3rd place behind Dexter and Enter. And Dexter, I think, is continuing to have some internet troubles.
Okay.
Oh, he's back! He's back! And Enter is contesting. Feed will crash fully on the inside with a no slide that time around. Well, Dexter might just win this round yet, despite some minor internet issues.
It's fine. Look, either way, identity time. Enter in 2nd place now. Can Scrappy overtake? Can Enter keep it clean? Can he maybe overtake Dexter? It looks like he's matching the speed at the very least. He's going for it, but Dexter is keeping him at bay just about. Oh, Lord, it comes down to 28,000. Enter doing so well to try and catch up there. What a brilliant round. A 128.7 for 2 players in the lobby there.
That's incredibly quick from both of them. And Dexter and Enter, both of them, whatever it is, on agility dash. Enter is the player who's stepping up for HOMYNOTSUN, keeping them within 1 point now as well. And it is that all that's separating these 2 teams is literally that 28,000 that Dexter has just put up.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dexter making up for his earlier mistakes there on that last round, and that gives Sprout once again that lead that they will really like on this one. And again, the thing is, once agility dash is over, I find it difficult for HOMYNOTSUN to get back into the series if they don't take out a win on this one. It was the closest map of the 3 that we saw last time around. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Very good ace. That would get them back into it. That would get them more than back into it. That would give them a 2-point lead, moving to 5. And they'd feel okay about that. But it is still Dexter very close behind them. And I say very close. He is about half a second down. But I would maybe back Dexter to be the player to pull half a second back on pure pace in the back half of agility dash.
Yeah, well, Feed and Enter now on the home stretch on this one. They've got a little ways to go, but they are well out ahead of both of these 2 here. Dexter and Scrappy trailing by 1 second and 1.5 seconds, respectively. Feed and Enna look like they're quite comfortable on this one, but once again, it's going to come down to that identity, whether they can keep it clean. Enna has been very good on the identity so far. Feed, not quite as much. That's the problem here. Feed is in first place. He has a good head start to get going here. Dexter and Scrappy still trailing. Scrappy, I think, has made an even bigger mistake. Again. Yeah, that would be the reason for that one. Dexter is trying to catch up, but he's so far down at this point that it just doesn't look possible. Feed and Enna cruise through to an ace. And, well, HOMYNOTSUN are given an opening into the map.
Yeah, well, there you go. That will be, I mean, more than just an opening. That is a lead for them as well. 2 points ahead now of Sprout. And feeling okay about it because they have looked competitive on the map so far. Sprout, those inconsistencies are definitely coming back to haunt them a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Well, we're just going to have to see those patched back up once again. I mean, we've seen a change in them from a couple weeks ago to now. Oh my, that's a really tough jump to miss there. Enna has gone well back.
Yep. He's a long way down. There's really not much more to say about it. You don't see mistakes there very often at all. And it means Feed having to pressure Sprout by himself. And, well, he's doing it from third place at the moment with Scrappy and Dexter out in that lead. The Cats are sitting very comfortably around the campfire with their friends because they are hand in hand through the middle section of the track. And they've looked quick through here as well. Scrappy goes a lot wider than either of Feed or Dexter. Does not quite get the trick on the snow to get him going. And that means Feed with a chance to overtake all the way into first place. He goes across one long speed drift.
There's a really clean speed drift section here. Feed gives himself a couple of tenths over Dexter and Scrappy. Moves forward now. And he just needs to keep that lead once again. I mean, he did very well last round, but he wasn't being pressured this much by the two Sprout players. Can he keep his cool here through the identity? The side jumps are good. He stays in first place. Dexter and Scrappy trailing behind. Dexter has a little less speed than he usually takes into the identity, so he's going to find it harder to keep up. But Scrappy is doing the work. He gets all the way through, and Dexter gets through as well. Feed finding it so difficult with the new pressure, and he tries to get back up there. It's 13 thousandths that separate Dexter and Feed. But the ace right back at HOMYNOTSUN is there from Sprout, and again, a 128.7 right when they need it.
That's quick. That is quick from Scrappy and Dexter. If that finish block was one further back, Feed has him there. Oof. Feed has him. But he doesn't. The finish block is where it is. Sprout get what they get. What they get is an ace and a lead right back, sitting on 6 points. HOMYNOTSUN will now need to win a round between here and the end of the match to take away this map. And, well, it looked like they've done the hard work, right? Managing to pick up an ace, getting 2 points ahead. It was starting to look like they maybe had done what they need to really put the pressure on. But to give an ace straight back up, that all of a sudden make things as difficult as they felt before. Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, while HOMYNOTSUN have that, you know, weight on their shoulders, or maybe even that motivator that, you know, this is... They're a set down. They need this as many maps as they can get here. Sprout have the same kind of thing going on in that they really, really want to not drop a single map, because the longer this goes on for, the more fatigued they're going to be coming into that series against alternate attacks, where they need to pull off 2 sets in a row to get it done. 2 best-of-7 sets in a row as well. And of course, alternate attacks, they just need 1. No, I mean, it's even more, right? Yeah. Given that we've only played best-of-5s tonight, they have to go into a best-of-7 against alternate attacks. Either of these teams will have to, if HOMYNOTSUN can pull it back, and they have to, well, do it the hard way at this point. That is the benefit alternate attacks are sitting with, having won that upper bracket finals against Sprout last weekend. And Sprout, they look determined to give themselves a rematch right now, as they are on pace for another ace here. Enner has managed to overtake Scrappy a little bit. Scrappy will carry slightly more speed. It will be landing at the exact same time nearly. But Enner with a better line, managing not to turn the car as much straighter through the identity. He goes, and Feed still a long way back, will not catch Scrappy, but Scrappy sits in third as Enner powers through it. And Dexter sets a 128.48.
That is unreal, man. Dexter.
That is 200ths off the Challenger League record.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. What a good time there. And I've got to give it to him. Enna has been clean through that identity. Obviously, you know, we can't discount what Dexter did there, but the overtake on Scrappy is brilliant. It gives HOMYNOTSUN another extra kind of breathing room in this. Well, not much breathing room, but they're still 2 points down. But still, I mean, look, if Dexter wasn't there on that one, Enna would have gone absolutely sailing through, and that's really just a testament to how much everyone is being pushed to their limits here. HOMYNOTSUN throughout this whole thing doing so well, but Dexter is just there to close them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, script says probably a draw, rather, in this round, go to 9-7. It's a classic scoreline. It'll be fun to see here on this one. Feed goes very wide. Scrappy is very far inside and keeping the speed up as well. That was a great drift through the middle section. The speed slide from Scrappy has pulled out nearly a 2-3 lead over his opponents, and as a result, he takes that turn very wide and holds onto it as well. Dexter has climbed up into second place too, and Sprout, they just want to close this map out now.
Oh, that's going to help them quite a lot. Feed takes a bit of airtime off the back of that turn and drops down into 4th position by several tenths there. Scrappy and Dexter in 1st and 2nd place, but all they need is a 1st and a 3rd to close out this first map here. Dexter and Scrappy with lots of speed. Oh no, Scrappy falls back. He may even get overtaken by Feed. Yes, indeed he does. We take another draw. We love that very much. We get some more action here on Agility Dash.
But it's 9-7. It does mean that whatever happens, this round ends it. It would be wild. It would be insane if HOMYNOTSUN managed to get the ace here. If they do manage to pull out a win on Agility Dash against Sprout. I'm not going to bet on it, but I'm ready to lose my mind if it does happen. Yeah,
they've given themselves that possibility, and the possibility is all you need to get it done at this point. You know, we have not really seen a clean round from both of the players of HOMYNOTSUN at the same time, apart from that one ace they got earlier on. And Dexter and Scrappy have been working so hard to keep them at bay. All they need, 1 point now. And Enna already down by 3/10. That's not going to help their case.
He will be sitting behind, and when you fall behind by 3/10 like this, you could still catch up, but you are starting to rely on both players from Sprout to make a mistake in a 9-7 round, in a round where they should be saving a little bit. They should see the gap that they have and be aware that they do not need to push for record times. They still need to set fast times. They still need to set good times, but they do not need to set a record. They just need to stay in front of Enna.
Well, it seems like they're doing that for the time being. Enna is not catching up whatsoever. He stayed about 3/10 behind this whole time, and Feed gets a little bit of an awkward turn there as well, drops down into 3rd place. Dexter and Scrappy starting to run away with it now, and it doesn't look like either of these players are looking like they want to make a mistake. It's a little bit of a slower entry from Scrappy than usual, but maybe he's just trying to save it, and there's another space program from Feed. He goes into the sky, and Dexter and Scrappy, they come home with an ace. Another 128.7 from Scrappy to finish it out. They finish up 12-7.
Yeah, and Sprout, credit to them, they looked even better on Agility Dash this second time around, I think, than they did the first time around. Yeah. Maybe slightly more inconsistent to kick things off, but the times were there. Dexter with a stunning 128.4 in the middle, and round-winning times generally 128.7s, 128.8s. Deserved win for Sprout on this map, and all of a sudden things feel very difficult for HOMYNOTSUN. We move to Freestyle. They definitely have a chance to pick up their first map of this entire match, this entire lower bracket finals. But they have to win 3 if they want to even force the decider map, and that's feeling a long way off for this team.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good they are here, but also they looked a little shaky on it last time. They did manage to take it, right? But at the same time, it was not as how do I put it? As consistent as we would have liked to see. You know, Feed obviously putting together amazing times, right? But at the same time, that came right at the end of that map. You know, it was not straight away. It was not like they were full force straight from the beginning of the map. It took them some time to warm up into it. You know, you've got to see them get this started from round 1 here if they want to get this done, because Sprout, they're just going to pounce on your mistakes if you don't.
Yep, they will punish on this, because Walfie does now hold the world record for live rounds on this map. You can see in the top left of your screen who held it before he did.
Yeah, perfect.
It was Dexter up until literally last match. So we know that the times are there for Sprout as well. And we know that they can push. They can be consistent on a map like Freestyle. And I just want to see it, right?
If we see, you know, Feed and Dexter getting a 0.0 at the same time here, I will lose my mind. The thing is, it's possible. You never really know with these players. It really is possible. You know, we could even see the other players putting up times like that. We just have yet to see it on this map so far, as Scrappy, Dexter, Enna, and Feed, in that order, enter into the identity area. Scrappy and Dexter in 1st place, and actually forward by quite a long way. And so far, they have been relatively consistent on this identity. It's just whether or not they can get that speed going. It's good from both of them to start things off. Feed gets it well as well, but he doesn't catch up enough to overtake Scrappy and Dexter. Dexter's going to take his classic line. It's a Dexter line to finish things off. Feed can't quite overtake. At the end, it's an ace to start things off for Sprout.
Through the triangle he goes, and it's still a round win, and that's what separates a Dexter line from just making a mistake at the end, is still holding the position or still managing to get the snipe at the end. Dexter holds on, and as you say, Sprout with an ace to kick off Freestyle. HOMYNOTSUN's pick, the one that they were hoping would turn things around. It's starting to look like it may go the way of Slippy Slides on our last match.
Not a fun start for them whatsoever here on this one, and it's got to be starting to set in that this is really, really your last chance to get going. This is your map pick. If you lose this one, odds are that's it. You're pretty much, your chances are close to zero if you don't manage to get this one done here. Oh, that's not a good way to get things done. Enna parks his car up in the crowd. And that's a really, really massive time loss. And now it's all up to Feed just to keep Sprout from getting another ace.
Yep. Hey, I get the feeling, right? Enna, obviously, he will be getting tired at this point, but it is not yet time to sit and spectate. He's still got some rounds to play on out. Feed will get overtaken by Scrappy, but Scrappy will get a little bit of a bonk on the way through as well there. Feed back in first place. Dexter on the chase. Feed one more jump. Will not clip. Will manage to make it through. And it is going to be a draw here on our second round. Sprout maintain their 3-point advantage.
Yeah, there is Feed. Obviously not an insane time, but he gets those overtakes done. And that is exactly what you want to see on this one. The now new world record holder with a, what was it, 107.3032, I think it was.
So I think it was an 032.
Okay, well, there you go. Good memory from me. But yeah.
At least that's what my memory says. And honestly, Twiggy, I would not put it past us to be wrong in the exact same way.
Yeah, well, I think, look, we can hope that we were both right on that. It was an 03. That's it doesn't matter what the thousands said at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because Scrappy and Dexter don't think they're as consistent as Feed and Enna on the identity. At the very least, that is where they have that upper hand on this one. And they generally put together, better times. Scrappy, he touches the reset block, he falls back a little bit. Luckily, he doesn't need to respawn, but he is down in 4th place now. And Dexter, now it's all on him. Oh no, that's not a good way to do things. He lets Feed and Enna get well up into 1st and 2nd place by bonking that ring checkpoint there. Now Scrappy is trailing by 1 second, but he's still the closest player.
Scrappy is going to speed player trying to catch up with HOMYNOTSUN, and they would love an ace right back at this point of the match, at this point of the night for them. Getting an ace and having to do without too much difficulty would feel absolutely lovely, I'm sure. And they are doing it in safe fashion. Hand in hand they go over the final jump, and neither of them making a mistake. They will cross the line together, tying the score up at 4-4.
Yeah, and again, it's just one mistake from either player, and suddenly HOMYNOTSUN are right back in it. And that is really what we were talking about right at the start of this matchup, is that Sprout versus HOMYNOTSUN, it's really going to be about whoever is most consistent. That's all it'll come down to. And we said on that first series, wow, on the first set, Sprout look really, really consistent. They look really good, and that, I think, is why they got that 3-0 there. HOMYNOTSUN, much more consistent this time around. On this map, at the very least, Sprout need to stop making those mistakes, obviously.
They need to clean it up a little bit. It would be lovely, but this round, I mean, it's looking like pure pace may be the decider as of yet. Heading towards this ring checkpoint, first place, that maybe a big mistake could come through for one of the players. Scrappy goes very high indeed. Feed and Enna are a lot lower. Scrappy will come out with slightly more speed and a chance to set up for the inside line on this dirt turn. Straightens his car out, and it's Feed who gets the car straightest out. Scrappy still maintaining that speed he got from the ring checkpoint, will be contesting for first place, nearly landing for Feed. Works out nicely for him. Well, it's still all neck and neck, and it could be anyone to win this round.
It really could. Scrappy, he goes for a real risky jump, and he falls down into 4th place off the back of a wheel clip. Dexter is still doing well. He's caught up with the other 2 members. He goes for a very low jump, and it's the risking. It's the full sending from Sprout that has lost them this round. They said they were going to do it, and HOMYNOTSUN have pounced with more safety.
Yeah, and safety is definitely the word, because it was not raw pace that won that round. 108.017, nearly a full second behind the current world record by Feed. but it's good enough, right? If your opponents are making the mistakes, you don't need to beat them. Let them beat themselves. And HOMYNOTSUN, they will let Sprout beat themselves all the way into getting aced. And it's 7-4. It is HOMYNOTSUN on track point and looking to pick up their first track, Twiggy.
Yep, looking to pick up their first track here. Come on, you had to... No, okay. Whatever. Sprout now trailing by 3 points. And right up until the identity there, they were looking absolutely brilliant. But it all came down to just them trying to get those overtakes right at the end. And jumping a little too low, just trying to make up thousandths against their opposition. The pressure got to them at the end. Their feed is now in first place as they move towards the identity, but Dexter and Scrappy once again right behind. They just need to get this a little more consistent. It's a good jump from both of them, but it's not as good as Feed and Enna, who are now in first and second place. Dexter trails. No. Oh, there we go. It's a little safer this time. No way. No way. I was like, Dexter's got it. No, no.
Ooh, that was close. Enner beats Dexter with the Dexter line on the final jump. I thought he'd missed it. I thought he was just gone from the round entirely, but he held on to win by a couple of hundredths. What a round it is to finish things out there. And it's a first map win for HOMYNOTSUN. Twiggy, bear in mind that the fifth map in this particular match would be Aero Pipes.
Yes, that is why. That's why I looked so worried just then.
HOMYNOTSUN, they probably need to win on Parkour, and they probably need to win on map 4 as well.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting moving forward. I mean, look, Sprout looked amazing here, which is something we have not said over the course of the whole regular season so far. And suddenly here we are, Sprout looking like a really good team here on Parkour, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen this time around. Because HOMYNOTSUN, I think they got caught by surprise on this one.
Yeah, not unfairly. Caught by surprise at how well Sprout were doing over the course of the entire map. Round on round, they looked very good. We'll see if HOMYNOTSUN can put something together to challenge them. We say they look good round on round. Dexter did clip that inside wall on that sausage turn multiple times.
Yeah.
He was finding his way into fourth place off the first couple of turns more often than not. So what's scary for HOMYNOTSUN is, for as much as Sprout were maybe surprisingly good, surprisingly consistent on the map, there was still plenty left in the tank for them. There are things that they could look to clean up relatively easily, like that turn for Dexter, which at times was a little bit of a bugbear for him last time around.
Yeah. Oh, Feed clips both of his wheels on that jump there as well, but he falls down into fourth place. Oh my god, almost a wheel clip from Dexter as he moves forward, but he's absolutely fine. And now it's Scrappy versus Enna and Dexter versus Feed. Usually when we say that, it's the other way around. Oh no, there goes that. Scrappy and Dexter now in first and second place, and it looks like they can just cruise through to the end. I don't know how much you can cruise through on Parkour, but it looks like that is exactly what they're doing here. And Sprout carry on as they meant to lead, or as they did leave off, sorry, last time on Parkour with another great ace.
Sprout carry on as if they mean to win Parkour a second time around as well. They'll pick up an ace to kick things off here, and it is decent times, but it is off the back of a little bit of an error from Enner on the way into that uphill. And you can't blame him for it, because Scrappy was pushing it, was forcing Enner to really go as hard outside as he possibly could. Ultimately lost the gear, could not make that final jump, and well, it's a tough way to lose a round, and they're gonna have to find a way to start winning some pretty quickly.
Yeah, at the very least, they managed to get that last map in their favor, so there's not a massive amount of worry coming into this one. You're not going to immediately lose if Sprout managed to get this map away. They've given themselves that chance here, but it's got to feel pretty tough when, you know, they were caught by surprise last time around, and then suddenly they're down 3 points already here on Parkour once again. And it's going to take some heroics now from HOMYNOTSUN to start bringing this one back once again and clawing back rounds. Dexter, he hangs his wheel a little bit over. It's not a massive mistake. It only drops him down about half a second, but that can be all the difference. And Scrappy doesn't make the jump. Enner and Feed, now it's their turn to be in first and second place. And it looks like they can just get through to the end. Fate has gone both ways this time around. Karma has found its way back.
Dexter is
oh my god, Dexter made just... Dexter is quicker! He gets it done! No way! Oh my god, I thought it was going to be an ace.
Yeah, it looked like it was an ace, and maybe it should have been an ace, but Feed on the final jump lost just enough speed to lose out to Dexter, who came out of absolutely nowhere and was sitting there ready to take his moment, seizes the moment, and Sprout, they stay 2 points ahead instead of a tie.
Wow. I mean,
it's a big swing.
That is a big swing. Sprout are probably kicking themselves a little bit on that one. That was their own mistakes pre-identity that gave away that position, but they will be thanking their lucky stars the other way around.
Thank you, stars.
Exactly, that they managed to get a point out of that one. And unfortunately for Enna, it may look like they're going to get at least another point on this round.
Yeah, Enner has drifted a little bit behind, so at least 1 point for Sprout in the cards on this round, and everyone is cleanly through the bobsleigh. Into the uphill dirt we go. Who's risking on the outside? It looks like all three of them, because of course they are. They're all getting very close to that outside wall. Enner's back in the race a little bit. If there is any mistakes, Enner is going to seize it. Unfortunately, the mistake is from Feed. That is not the mistake he wanted to take advantage of. Dexter and Scrappy through all the way. Enner crashes the pole at the end as well. And Scrappy and Dexter keep it clean for a 102.853 from Dexter. Good time. Scrappy a 10th behind. Another ace from Sprout. And they are now sitting on 7 and an ace away from moving to match point.
Brilliant there from Sprout. They're looking like a completely different beast here on Parkour than they ever have before. I think obviously we were more impressed by the first time they played it here up against HOMYNOTSUN. Oh, sorry, not the first, because they would have played it in the regular season against HOMYNOTSUN. But today, the first time we saw them play it, we were very impressed by that one. The consistency was on display. This time around, it's just, you know, it's just being able to be consistent when it's needed. Obviously, they haven't looked as clean as they did on that first time, but this is great from them. This is completely different from them. You know, over the course of the season, we've been criticizing Sprout's consistency. We've been saying they're an incredibly fast team. They show up a lot of the time when they need to, but compared to a team like Alternate Attacks, they're just not the same. But here they are. This is the kind of consistency that we're seeing from Alternate Attacks, and if they can bring this into the next series, they're gonna have a much better time. Oh no,
dear.
That's
I think that's it. I think this should be the ace from Sprout. Dexter, it looked like he put a wheel in the wall, but no, it's just as close as you can get without crashing, and he'll gain on Scrappy as a result through the identity. They'll trade the places backwards and forwards, but without a crash, we will be saying goodbye to Parkour for the last time in this match. We will be heading into map 4 with an advantage to Sprout, and we're then looking to book a date with Alternate Attacks.
10-2 there on that one. Dominant completely. Yeah, I mean, it was just being there when they needed to be. They were in the right place for the right time. It was not as, I don't think it was as good actually from them as the one in the last set, but at the same time, you know, HOMYNOTSUN made more mistakes and Sprout just kept to that same consistency. They got it done, and the times were good as well, and Sprout are looking real invigorated moving into this one. I'm very, very impressed by the way that they have kind of patched up all of their errors, and I'm looking forward. You know what? This grand final is actually going to be a banger if Sprout managed to impress us on this last map as well. Or, well, potentially not last map, but obviously match point for them, or series point, set point.
Yeah. Set point, track point. Look, all they have to do is win this track and then they go to a grand finals. That's the key thing here. Both of these teams already guaranteed to walk away from the Challenger League Stage 1 with €1,000 in back pocket, and with at least for third place team 30 World Tour points. Second place gets 40 World Tour points. The winner of this competition will get €2,000 and 50 World Tour points. So getting to that finals gets you those extra 10 World Tour points guaranteed, and that will matter very much indeed when it gets towards the end of the season, when we are looking at World Cup qualification spots. I'm sure Sprout are a team that would love to show up at that World Cup. I have no doubt that they would have expectations that maybe they're capable of doing so.
Yeah, Dexter has a bit of a late start. Lets his opposition get a little bit of a head start on this one. But Scrappy contending for first place now. And again, back and forth. I mean, we've seen really good rounds from Sprout on this one in the regular season, but again, they've been plagued again by that kind of inconsistency that we've been talking about this whole time. And now if we can see the same kind of improvement that we've seen over the course of today's events from Sprout, the same kind of stuff happening to the maps that they have felt less comfortable on, I mean, it's going to be so close moving into today's last game. But HOMYNOTSUN, great first round from them. Really great first round from them. In fact, 58-0 to start things off and an ace. They were just quicker the whole time through that.
Yeah, that's what you want to see from HOMYNOTSUN. They did go back and forth, having, I think, regained a little bit of confidence.
Not another tiebreaker, no, man, please.
I think we still have to get through Aero Pipes first, and that would be interesting.
We're getting there, you know? The possibility is really starting to sink in that we're going to have every single series go to, as long as it possibly can here. But Oh boy. Okay, well, Scrappy, Dexter, they can get it done right here, right now. Well, not in this round, but at the very least on this map, they can get it done. HOMYNOTSUN are really fighting for their lives on this one. You can see it in the way they're driving this. They had a tough time on this map specifically against Fine Aim Racing. Looks a lot better from so far.
Yeah, it is looking pretty clean for them at the moment, honestly. They are sitting in 1 and 2, but Dexter is sitting very wide for his setup into this identity and will allow him to get deep inside on this next turn. You can see as he will overtake 2 players, and it is going to be a dead lice to the finish line. Dexter looks to come in worse for it and nearly gets caught by Feed again as well. But Enner holds him off, and Dexter will hold on to that second place.
Wow, 1.5 tenths separating those top 3 players, and a 57.8 is not a time to scoff at whatsoever either. I mean, this is really, you can see the way they're pushing each other here. You've seen it throughout this whole matchup, but here it's really reaching a fever pitch as Sprout are starting to, you know, get pushed back against by HOMYNOTSUN here. They're really giving everything they've got now.
Yep, they are going to potentially bring us to map 5. 5-1 is that scoreline that is so hard to come back from after just 2 rounds of play, to be sitting 4 points over an ace behind, and Dexter trying to risk it into that ice wall, misjudges his jump and goes spinning out of control, leaving Scrappy to contend by himself with the 2 players in red.
Ouch, that is a really unfortunate mistake as Dexter, I mean, he's not even... He's had to respawn 3 times now. He's nowhere near even the middle of the map now. Scrappy has to keep Scrappy has to keep HOMYNOTSUN at bay, and he's falling back, and he hits a pole, and it's another ace pretty much in hand now for HOMYNOTSUN. They cruise through with another 57.8. Wow, 8-1 to start things off, huh?
That's brutal. This is just one-sided to the extreme from HOMYNOTSUN at the moment. They are dismantling Sprout on back and forth. And Aero Pipes is looking incredibly likely, which is, well, it's
I mean, it's one way to end things off. It's one way to end things off for a series. I'll give you that. It's
neither of these teams has ever won on Aero Pipes. Yeah. So, you know, do with that information what you will. And yet Dexter does hold the current live round world record.
He does indeed. So, as always with Sprout, there is a possibility that they pull out something insane. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, neither of the teams are comfortable on the map. Even, well, from what we've seen whatsoever, you know, they may have practiced it, but I doubt it. Oh, and no, that's not a good start. He's been plagued by the same fate as Dexter had. Scrappy is trailing now from the other members, but Enner is even further down, and that is going to make things difficult here. HOMYNOTSUN, I mean, they can still get a draw out of this one quite easily. They could probably still get a round win technically if Scrappy makes a mistake.
Or
at the same time, oh yeah, okay, well there you go. There's the possibility coming on through, but Enner is still a lot further behind. It's looking most likely that it will be a draw here. I mean, still just, I mean, 9-2 isn't even remotely...
That's not doable. That's
not any better than 8-1.
Yeah, Dexter gets across the line. That is widely separated.
Surely they don't ace 3 times in a row.
No. That would never happen. Sprout can't finish it here on back and forth unless they can. It would start with an ace in this round, and HOMYNOTSUN, to give them credit, have not looked likely to give up that ace so far. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. When I say surely this time, I pretty much do mean surely. It's really not looking likely. This is one of those things where, you know, it's a British voice that sounds sarcastic. Yeah, it sounds sarcastic. But isn't actually being sarcastic. Yeah, that is straight up just me stating pretty much a fact at this point. Feed and Enner have looked clean so far. There have been a couple of mistakes. Obviously, Enner slid out a little bit on the ice slide last time around, but apart from that, they've cleaned up their identity really nicely. The way they've been closing out these rounds has been brilliant, and Scrappy is now in 4th place by a few tenths as well, which is a difficult thing to catch up when kind of your speed gets reset into this identity. Dexter is in 1st place. He needs to keep that. Scrappy needs to overtake both Feed and Enner. It looks like it's over right here, right now. No problem for HOMYNOTSUN. It's a 10-3 scoreline to finish things off, and I don't think we were expecting that. Wait, what? That's a really good time. It's just a really good time. It's nice not a new record. It is a new Challenger League record. Yeah. I mean, that sounds about right for Dexter, is losing the map and getting a new record. That tracks. He waits until the final round and sets a new Challenger League record. Aero Pipes. They will bring back 2 maps. It's 2 maps for HOMYNOTSUN here in the second match. It took them a little bit while to get their second wind back. I think it rocked a little bit after having to go the distance with Try and Aim Racing in that previous match. But here they are, and they have to get through Aero Pipes, but they've practiced Aero Pipes once already tonight. They've already been here. Sprout, who knows when the last time either of them even opened this map was.
Yeah, I mean...
well, if HOMYNOTSUN win here, we go to another tiebreaker.
This is definitely interesting. We're really building up the storylines here today. HOMYNOTSUN looking to pull off the reverse sweep that they were plagued by against Sprout. And I said that, I think I said to you before the broadcast started that, you know, HOMYNOTSUN just seem to be Sprout's kind of bane of their existence in a way. You know, they seem to have an effect on Sprout that not a lot of other teams do, in that, you know, technically in terms of times, they're not as quick, but their map pool is just so, it's the antithesis of what Sprout want, and they find it so much more difficult to come up against them, although Feed seems to have given them an opening at least into this map.
Yeah, Feed will crash out a little bit over that ice turn and drops a long way down. A Scrappy and Dexter lead from Enner as we go through the last few turns of the map as well. Through the plastic, down we go, round the left turn and into the sausage after that.
Yeah, well, Scrappy and Dexter in first and second place, leading Enner by about 3/10, leading Feed by several seconds at this point. But obviously, as we all know, everything could change towards the end here. And Scrappy and Dexter are going to be looking to keep it just about as clean as they can. But who knows what that is. Dexter gets dangerously close to the crowd there. But they get through cleanly the first 2 pipes. It looks like it's going to be great from both of them. It is indeed. It's 111.0 to start things off. Sprout? I mean, again, new side to Sprout.
Yeah, both players getting through at the same time cleanly. Crazy. Never thought I'd see today. At the same time, the times were good. A 111 flat is quick, but we saw quicker round-winning times last time around, including some from HOMYNOTSUN. They have the pace. They have the ability to get back into it. Feed made an uncharacteristic mistake before the identity relatively early in the map, and Enner lost a lot of speed on the entry into the pipes as well, and so was really at risk of, I think there was very little way that he was going to catch up with his opponents on that one. So Sprout, while they have done it, I would not be getting comfortable just yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Oh, Scrappy, his back wheel just goes a little too far out. He touches the wall with it. He loses a gear, and now he is a lot further down behind. At least Feed is starting to join him. He's splitting the difference there. He's about half a second down from Enner and Dexter. Enner and Dexter fighting their way towards the identity here. Scrappy is trying to keep up, and to be fair to him, he is getting quite close now, but again, it could all be down to this identity, although that was a clean round last time. Can we see the same thing happening? Dexter right up against Enner here. He has a little more speed. He overtakes. It looks like not quite. Enner stays out ahead. Oh no, they both crash out. They both crash out. Feed isn't close enough to capitalize.
Scrappy.
They get on there. Oh no, Enner falls off. Oh my god, Scrappy!
Feed! Where did Feed come from? Where did Feed come from?
Most sane Aero Pipes round.
Victory.
All right, it's 5-1 to Sprout. Things are going to... It's an uphill battle for HOMYNOTSUN from this point on. Enner and Dexter pushed each other to the limit and then significantly passed it on that round.
That was
Sprout,
just seeing Scrappy zoom through. Oh wait, no, sorry, it wasn't Scrappy. He just zoomed through. You're seeing him zoom across the top of the screen. Oh man, this is just such a beautiful map. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. I love it so much. Oh god, I'll never get enough. Once this is out of the map pool, I'm gonna be so sad. We've had some memories with this map.
It's true. We
really
have new maps coming next week. Dexter gets a big slowdown in the middle map. New maps coming tomorrow for stage 2, so that's going to be exciting. Get ready to not finish those as well, Twiggy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, there. We're looking forward to seeing what is there. But right now we have a match to finish out, and at the moment it is going to be Enner still up the front. Feed has made another early mistake. Is really not having a great time at the moment on Aero Pipes as Enner tries to hunt down Scrappy, and Dexter is just behind. And I feel like I've seen something very similar before with Enner and a Sprout player up front, another one sitting just behind. Enner will fall.
Oh no!
It's Dexter! An ace for Sprout again. And it's 8-1, and HOMYNOTSUN fatigue, I think, has caught up and is taking its due right now on Aero Pipes.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any map that's going to punish you for the tiniest of just... you can't even call them mistakes. It's just the tiniest of deviations in the angle that you enter a jump with. And then suddenly it's just over for you. And Sprout are now... Well, hey, we saw the 8-1 last time around, and it didn't work out well for the team that had the 1 point. And... yeah, Sprout looking like they're going to walk away with this one. They had a difficult time in the second series. HOMYNOTSUN, fair play, because coming back into this series after the monster of a matchup you had last time around, it deserves all of the credit in the world on this one. But yeah, Sprout have just looked good, really good over the course of this one.
And I mean, praise them as well, because not only did they have a very, very difficult match against Schweinheim Racing in that lower semi-finals, they came in and they got swept by Sprout in the first match, and it would be very easy at that point to just shut down completely. You know, things just aren't happening. It's not our night to go all the way. But they've come back. They've made this second match close. They've brought us to a decider on Aero Pipes. And unfortunately for them, Aero Pipes giveth and sometimes Aero Pipes taketh. And right now it is taking from HOMYNOTSUN as Sprout sit in a first and second place. Sprout look to finish this one out and book their rematch with Alternate Attacks in a grand final. A chance to fight for first place in the Trackmania Challenger League Stage 1 of 2023. And both of them cleanly across the first two pipes. Cleanly across the third. Sprout will close it out in style. They started with an ace, they end with an ace here on Aero Pipes. Oof. And they will be heading to the grand finals.
I mean, discounting the round, that's really clean from Sprout, actually. Like, really clean for an Aero Pipes round. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I mean, that is just a testament to Sprout today. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if they have just had an insane, you know, off-camera practice session or two, but man, they are a different team completely. A team, dare I say, that looks like they can really bring the fight to Alternate Attacks this time around.
Well, they're going to have to, because that is what is coming up after the break. We're going to head to another break. When we come back, the grand finals of the Challenger League Stage 1 2023, Sprout versus Alternate Attacks, a rematch of our upper finals where Alternate Attacks looked strong, Sprout looked shaken. Have they had time to practice? Have they had time to think it over? And will they come back with a new strategy this week to take down their rivals? Don't